Well, good afternoon, and it's a great pleasure to be here. And actually, instead of speaking on democratic development after conditionality, I'm going to use my very few minutes to touch on a few of the areas in which our new EU Centre of Excellence will be focusing, because it is my hope that some of you listening might identify some potential areas of cooperation that your government or agency or organization has with these projects, and then maybe you can have a word with me right after this lunch. The EU Centre of Excellence at Alberta is launching this month. We have our launch event on the 16th of October. And over our 3 years of programming, we are focusing on two areas that we've designated as outreach projects, and that is packages of work that has the aim of connecting academic research on one hand with industry, government, civil society, and so taking these discussions, getting them to a broader audience, disseminating policy findings, and making new connections between Canadian and European audiences. So the first that we have is a theme on the Arctic, and this is in cooperation with the Canadian Circumpolar Institute at the University of Alberta, which is Canada's leading centre of research on the North. And in this package, we aim to look at some of the issues of governance in the North, economic development, resource management and extraction, some of the social issues that accompany this, and of course, issues of sovereignty and the international relations aspect of Arctic governance. And our projects are timed to coincide with the conclusion of Canada's chairmanship of the Arctic Council. However, in the period of time leading up to that, we will also host some smaller events on campus, and we really do hope that we'll be able to host some visiting ambassadors from states that have a keen interest in Arctic affairs. And so that's one of our key areas. Another area that's targeted as an outreach project has to do with energy and the environment. And on this project, we are working in partnership with the Helmholtz Alberta Initiative, and that is a scientific partnership at the University of Alberta between University of Alberta scientists, mostly in science and engineering, together with the Government of Alberta and scientific institutions in Germany. And this is focused on areas of research related to energy and environment, and our involvement from the perspective of the EU Centre of Excellence is to draw out some of the more policy-relevant themes that could be related to policy or regulatory difficulties or disputes. It could be related to technology transfer and potentials there, or further potential for trade. And our key event for energy and the environment will take place in September 2014. However, we will also have a program of speakers, policy briefs, working papers throughout the duration of our EU Centre. So those are the two themes that are most directly related to outreach and this connection between industry, government, civil society. We also have a number of projects that look a little bit more like traditional academic research packages, yet also with the express intention of taking these findings and connecting them to broader audiences. And so one of them is described in the abstract that you have in your program, and that is the subject of our first academic conference in April, and that is democratic development after EU conditionality. And this is in cooperation with our partner, the Worth Institute of Austrian and Central European Studies at the University of Alberta. And what we will be doing in this project is looking at the issue of how the post-communist member states of the European Union are undergoing a process of democratic development. And so while enlargement has been a great success, this eastward enlargement, it has, and research has shown us that the member states of Central Eastern Europe have generally a better implementation record of the acquis than, on the whole, member states of Western Europe. However, there have been a few hiccups along the way in terms of democratic development, and these have been flagged by the Commission in 2012, 2013, as well as identified by organizations such as Freedom House. And what this project seeks to do is to look at or reassess the impact of conditionality 10 years after enlargement, and also try to identify how well some of the new tools of conditionality, such as the control and verification mechanism, are working in Romania and Bulgaria and are set to work when we look towards future expansion in the Western Balkans. Recent research calls into question whether or not the same factors that can help explain success in the implementation of the acquis more broadly, or in terms of implementation of many of the regulatory measures, might not be the same measures that also help to facilitate a strong and robust process of democratic consolidation. And so, for example, some research suggests that when you have partisan continuity, that's good news for implementation of the acquis and also for sticking to that implementation. Yet on the other side, that those may not be the conditions that are best suited to prevent politicization of the state or corruption, for example. And so these are some of the questions that we want to explore. And because we are 10 years on from enlargement, another question that has to be added to this is the question of what impact membership itself has on democratic stabilization and development. And I think that it's a good time to consider this question precisely because some of the strains of economic crisis can create certain vulnerabilities, and they exacerbate some of the political tensions that can arise from debates over redistribution, and certainly put strains on a polity, and also create conditions that can facilitate the rise of extremist policies and politics. So it's a good time to be asking these questions, and in this, one of the aims of this research project is to not only engage academics and develop this research agenda, but for us at the University of Alberta, we'd really like to take these research findings and connect them to one of the audiences which is quite important for us, and that is the local community in Alberta. We have a lot of Canadians there of Central European origin who are quite interested in these policy developments. And so we want to take the research out of the academy and bring it to much broader audiences. I'll end my remarks there because we are short on time, and I do hope that I have a chance to speak to any of you who might be interested in connecting with some of our work at the EU Centre in Alberta. Thank you.